Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Sunday session with Sash. I did not prepare for this week to talk about a specific topic because I wanted to do something different. I wanted to get ready with you guys and do my makeup while I reflect on my experience of hosting the first virtual conference that I've ever done, or I've been a part of conferences before, so yeah, I guess the first virtual conference I've ever done, as well as my progress of becoming a counselor that I've experienced the last couple of months. So if you're interested, please continue to tune in. Okay guys, so like I said, this session is going to be different. We're not going to go over a specific topic. We're just going to talk. And sometimes that's important. Sometimes you just need to talk it out. And I wanted to do my makeup today because I just got my lashes done and I just finished the virtual mental health conference, which that will be posted on my YouTube channel as well. So definitely be sure to check that out. I already have my brows done. They're not the best. They could be better. But I just threw them on real quick before the conference. So we'll start there with brows. So the conference, I liked it. Not as many people joined as I thought would. But I mean, I'm completely okay with that as long as I was able to, and the people I partnered with were able to share some needed information, and the information was recorded so it can be shared again and again. That is the most important part. I'm not, here to get famous or anything like that, but so to cover up my brows, I'm going to use medium from Maybelline, New York. So Kat, who I met at Shippensburg, talked about dementia, mental health, and that was really interesting because if nobody knows, but dementia is definitely prevalent in my family, and it was really interesting to hear her perspective on the type of mental health treatment that those with dementia receive, and areas that we can definitely do better in. So that was interesting. And then my best friend Nate, she did the LGBT community and mental health, which is very important to her since she is part, and me as well, because since she is part of the community. So she talked about the stigmas that people in the community face and the struggles with receiving mental health or just healthcare in general due to identifying as part of the LGBT community. And that was interesting to hear. Like, I didn't think about how people of the LGBT community could have anxiety. It makes sense to go to appointments because they either are not out the closet yet and don't want to tell their healthcare provider about their sexuality, or the questions and the stares and the stigma that they will receive after they do tell their healthcare provider that they what they identify as, or trying to change their mind. I thought that was definitely a thing of the past, but obviously we are still here today judging people for being part of the LGBT community, but not just judging them, but trying to change their mind, like trying to make them straight. I'm sad. And then in turn, I talked about healthcare or mental health care in the Black community, and that obviously is very important to me as not only being a member of the Black / African American community, but also being a mental health professional. And you will hear in the seminar, but I stated, like, as I become a counselor, or I become closer to being a licensed counselor, I actually see more opportunities for people to be licensed counselors, or even just drug and alcohol professionals, or mental health professionals. So you don't have to have a master's degree to be a mental health professional. There's so many levels to being a mental health professional. You could be a direct care person for someone who experiences mental health and help them cope on a daily basis, and help them follow their treatment plans. Or, you can be a more intricate part of writing their plans and communicating their needs to their doctors if they're not able to. And then you can be on a, I don't want to say higher end as to put, one above another, but on a more intricate level of diagnosing them, creating their treatment plans, and then, of course, you can also diagnose medicine. Of course, diagnosing medicine and creating the treatment plan, you need a degree for it. But there are other positions that you can support and help people in mental health without getting a degree. You can be a substance abuse counselor with a certificate as long as you have, I believe, a bachelor's, and then if you have an associate's, you can as well. You just need to get so many hours of training. So, but back to what I was saying, I'm just learning that, like, as I'm becoming a mental health professional, that there is more Black and African American people in this field than we think. It's just that we need to educate people more on that there are options, as well as increasing the access that people in the African American community have to mental health care. So if you're interested in any or all of those topics, please definitely watch the video from yesterday. Well, when I uploaded this video, it will be yesterday that the conference happened, but I'm recording right after. So if you're interested in any of those topics, please watch the conference from Saturday, and be sure to comment any questions and things that you may have. Also, the resources that we used will be given throughout the slideshow, so be sure to write those down and visit those sites. Alright, my eyebrows are carved out. If you didn't see what I was doing behind my hand, I primed my eyes with concealer. It looks a mess, but my makeup always looks crazy before it looks better. So sometimes Justin will walk in and I'm doing my makeup and he'll be like, "What is going on?" And I'm like, "Can you chill out? Like, we didn't get to the final part yet." When we get to the final part, like always, you'll say, "Oh, you look so nice." So I don't know what kind of eye look I want to do today. Just got my lashes done, so I probably shouldn't do anything super dramatic. Okay, so I also wanted to talk about just my progress or process that I've been going through to become a mental health counselor, a licensed counselor. Just in case anybody out there wanted to engage in the same process and had questions. So for my eyes today, I'm going to use my Morphe palette. believe this is the 39A, sorry. My Morphe palette, 39A. And I'll show you the colors that I'll be using like I use them. So, I always knew that I wanted to be a counselor. What's funny is what actually sparked my interest is I watched the movie, if anybody is familiar with it, I'm pretty sure you are, Freaky Friday, with Lindsay Lohan. That was the very first time that I thought about becoming a counselor. And my main reason when I watched the movie was that I saw that she basically, the mom, had control of her everyday life. Like, she could go to work when she wanted to, she could leave work when she wanted to, and that's a really bad reason to take up a profession, for the reason that you don't have to answer to anybody. But that was like it for me. I said, oh, she's just going around here, leaving work to go to the restaurant and talk to the lady that switched them. And I never experienced anyone being able to do that before. I was just used to my mom having to go to work at a certain time every day and leave at a certain time every day, and only having a certain amount of time for lunch and stuff like that. So, like I said, that might not be like a very valid reason, but that's what sparked my interest. So then I also knew that I always wanted to be a doctor. At first I wanted to be a vet, but I'm not good with blood. Like, I can deal with my own blood, and now that I'm a mom, I can deal with, like his blood if he cuts himself, but I'm not good with like the guts and gore and all that stuff. Like, no thank you. So I knew that being like a typical doctor was not going to work out. Like, I was going to pass out in somebody's operating room or, you know what I mean? Like, even though like healthcare practitioners don't really see a lot of blood, like if you do regular checkups, but like, I just don't like people's bodies. I don't want to see everybody naked, and I'm like, no, I'm okay. So yeah, so I knew that was a no-go. That was one of them. So then I thought more about it, like, oh, I can be a doctor of the mind. I'm going to use these two colors to deepen my crease. I can be a doctor of the mind. So then naturally I started to research like what a doctor of the mind, aka a psychologist, does, and the type of schooling that they have to go through, and what they can independently do. Sorry, Justin called me. But what was I saying? Oh, so I started like to research the type of things that they do, what type of schooling you'll need, all that good stuff. So of course I figured out quickly that, like a regular doctor, you'd have to go to school for a very long time. Like if you want to get your doctorate, about 12 years. And if you want to get your master's, about 8. And that with a bachelor's in psychology, you can't really do much. Like, having a bachelor's in psychology opens the door and gets you in a lot of positions, like a lot of entry-level positions in regards to mental health, but that's about as far as you're going. Like, if you don't have more than a bachelor's, you're not getting past entry level, whereas other jobs, you could. So I already knew that I at least needed to have my master's. So then I started to map out, and this is just the type of person that I am. I started to map out like where I was going to go to school. And originally, what made me start looking at schools is in high school, we had this project where we had to pick a career, which I already knew I wanted to be a counselor, and we had to research schools that, you know, had the degree program we were looking for, and research the cost and how we would afford it, which was a very helpful project, by the way. Like, it put me into realization of a lot of things. So in my presentation, I said I wanted to go to Argosy University, which is in Atlanta, and that I wanted to go to Emory, is called, or whatever, for my PhD. Life obviously changed. I met Justin and we fell in love, and I got a scholarship, a full ride to Shippensburg University in Pennsylvania. For those of you who are not in Pennsylvania, that's where it's at. And I decided that I would jump on that opportunity. I'm going to use this color right here for my outer corner. So I jumped on that opportunity and started getting my bachelor's in psychology. Shippensburg is known as one of the best schools on the East Coast for their psychology program, so I was really happy about this choice, because obviously I wanted to be the best, do the best. So I experienced a lot of hardships while going to Ship, because we moved out on our own, we got married, so, you know, we were financially responsible for ourselves. And when that happens, you have to get a job. So getting jobs and going to school was hard. Again, I only had a high school education, so the types of jobs are limited, but bills are still real bills. So we ended up moving back home, and I was still determined that, like, you know, even though I'm moving back home, like, I'm still going to school. So I commuted from Harrisburg to Shippensburg for 4 long years. Towards the end, we actually got pregnant and we ended up losing our son. So I had to experience, you know, not just we had to experience that as a family, and continuing my education after all that happened. But I finally graduated in 2016 with my bachelor's in psychology, which I was very happy about. I felt on top of the world after 4 years of what felt like hell. I felt like I had finally accomplished something that I wanted to do. I know I had like accomplishments along the way, but I finally felt like I accomplished something I wanted to do. So after that, a big thing that helped me while I was getting my bachelor's degree, like working while in school, was a blessing and a curse. It was a blessing because it helped me get experience where, you know, after school, a lot of jobs were hiring, but they were like, you need to have 2 years of experience before you can get this job. Well, I worked my whole college career, so I already had those 2 years of experience. So that was, like I said, a blessing in itself. So after college, I actually worked as would be considered a direct care professional for individuals with autism. And I got experience there. I worked in that field for about two or 3 years, not at that specific job, but between different jobs doing the same thing for about 2 to 3 years. Then I became a service coordinator, which made more decent amount of money, not like a huge amount of money, but enough that I felt like, okay, like I can handle my bills and go back to school now. So then I went back for my master's in 2017. And it had to be an online program because my experience of commuting for 4 years, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. So I am going to use this from e.l.f. all over my lid. I was looking for a name on it, but it doesn't have one. So I started my master's program at Grand Canyon University online, and the reason why I chose Grand Canyon was because all the books are included. And again, one thing that I learned from being a full adult in college is that books are expensive and paying for them is not easy. So I chose that program because I felt like it was the best fit for what I wanted, and financially and education wise, and time wise too. So I've been at GCU since March of 2017. In 2018, we had Romy, and I decided that I needed to switch jobs again because I needed to have flexibility for my child. I needed to be able to come home when I wanted or needed for his care, especially him being at that time a newborn. So I got a job being a clinical specialist, and I worked that job for a year and a half, and during that I learned how to write treatment plans, assess goals, and things like that, which helps me as being a counselor because I already had that experience. So like, while people in class were learning about it, I was actually applying writing treatment plans and assessing goals in the real world. And I'm extremely grateful for that, for like having that opportunity. Then I got promoted to an area supervisor, which gave me even more freedom to be able to do my internship for school and work still full-time. So that's the current spot that I'm at now, is that I'm an area supervisor at my full-time job, and I'm in my internship for school, which will be over soon. Graduate next month. I'm excited. And I also had an interview at a local agency, counseling agency, and she's actually a woman of color, and she is interested in training other women of color to be counselors. So I felt like that was the perfect opportunity for me. I'm going to use the Jeffree Star and Morphe palette, and I'm going to use the color 2 right here, where he goes, "Welcome back to my channel." I'm going to use the color 2. Oh, you can see me in my mirror. Hey. But yeah, so I had that interview, and I felt like I needed to be there. Like, that was the place that I needed to be. And so I accepted, and I started that after graduation. After I finalized all my paperwork for graduation. So I am super excited about that. And that is, in very basic terms, my journey. So I don't think I'm going to do a whole bunch of a face, even though it is cold outside. I don't feel like, but I'll show you how I do my natural face. So now we can talk more about makeup. It's been hot, guys, real hot. So I haven't been able to do makeup, and today's the first cool day in a long time. So I'm taking a full advantage and beating my face. I don't care if I have to sit in the house and take pictures all day. I did want to go to Springgate but it's raining outside, so that's not an option. Alright, so now I'm using the Ulta Beauty Poreless Face Primer. Please excuse how dirty it is. I do not understand why they make primer packages or makeup packages white and then expect you not to get them dirty as you're messing with makeup. So I'm going to put this on first. One is going to help blend out that concealer that I left on there, and it's going to help my powder stick, because all I'm putting on is powder. Sorry to tell you. Maybe there will be another day that I do like a full beat glam. I mean, this is pretty glam, so you know. Okay, so for my face powder, I use e.l.f. Prime and Stay Finishing Powder in the color Medium Dark. I don't feel like their descriptors are very accurate because I am not medium dark. I'm more like light tan, but I have light tan, and this is how light it is. Like, that's a huge difference. So, and yeah, it's all broken, but I have a new one coming. Shh, don't. But my last one I had like this actually ended up just like this, crumbly, and I use it till there's no more crumbles left. I don't do it. And I just smooth this over my entire face. It's the lightest coverage you will ever have because it's literally just a finishing powder, but it does take the shine off, and I'm working on clearing up my dark spots, so one day I will just be able to just use this and not be no imperfections. One day. See, like you can see, like the bottom half of my face is really matte and some coverage. So I like it. It gives like it's like a no makeup look. Except for you can see my dark spots. But other than that, mats me up. Makes everything stay in place. Oh, and because you didn't see me, I did my brows off camera. Besides shaping them, I used a new Fenty brow and I love it. Well, it may not be new, but I recently found out that she had brow products, and I'm all into the trying to buy more black owned, I should say. So when I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to sorry, somebody's listening to music. I'm definitely going to support her over Anastasia. So now I'm just taking what I put on my eyes, like the leftover, and highlighting my nose. And nothing against Anastasia, just like, you know, trying to support black owned. And since this is like a light day look, I'm just tapping this into my highlighted areas to give like a little, you see what I'm saying, like a little glimmer, not like a full-blown highlight, because I don't have any foundation on, so I don't want to give a full-blown highlight, but just a little, you know, a little sparkle. I'll blend it out. It won't look as wet. Okay, for my lips, I'm gonna go nude. Trying to be full gleam here, people. Sorry, I'm looking for my lip liner. I'm gonna go my makeup around, so I'm trying to figure out where everything is a struggle. This is my lippy box. What did we just saw? I'm gonna use this. Nope, that's black. We don't want that. I'm gonna use this from Kylie 22. It's an orangey color. And fill my lips with Teddy from NYX. And then in the center, I'm going to use this NYX Butter lipstick in the shade Fun Size. So it's basically going to give like this pinky lip. And let's begin. So I'm gonna line my lips with this Kylie one. I don't remember the color. And I'm doing that more for like a reddish undertone. Like once I'm done putting on Teddy, you won't be able to see it. So trick is if you don't, or if you can't, like I couldn't find the perfect colored liner, you can use a lip color that is the color of the liner you want, and use like a darker, or you know, like a color liner that you're not really interested in, to help guide and fill in your lips, because red can also be like a corrector color for dark spots. So that's what I'm doing. So if you guys are like, why would she put red under or with that brown, you will see in a minute why and how it makes sense. So that's that. Then I'm going to take Teddy by NYX, which is very dark, so it's in essence going to cover up the red, in essence, but it's going to give an undertone, a red undertone. See? Now just gotta clean up the edges where the red like bled on there. So I'm just gonna take a clean like lip liner brush and clean that up. Which red does. You want to be careful. Sorry. Stain. Alright. I'll put some. I'll take my brush that I was using with the foundation for the powder. There we go. And now the color is drying down now. And then I'm going to take the NYX Butter Gloss or Butter Lipstick in Fun Size. Oh no, I'm not. That one is expired. Psych. Alright, let me look for another one. Alright, I'm gonna take this from RK by Kiss in the color Mango Butter. It's a similar color to that one, and I'm gonna make sure I throw that away. Then the center. And blend. liner. It's like a neutral ombre lip. Wish you could. The lighting is messing up. Just 1 second. See? Alright, well, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. I haven't done one and everybody's been asking me. Of course, I'm not going to put mascara or liner on because of my lashes. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed and you guys have a good day. Bye.